What is up, all you now CCL type people? This is Tom. I'm here with your Week 1 match against CrimsonCBAD, actually. Now, Crimson has joined this league. I have much respect for him, and I'll link his description down in the comments, or in the description, I should say. Much respect for him, the fact that he walked away from the GBA and decided to develop his channel, independently, and, maybe go to small leagues and, hone his skills and, come back to the GBA if he ever has the possibility to do so. But I have a lot of respect for him for doing so, and contrary to popular belief, I don't hate him. I don't think he's awful. And I do think that he's a great person. I got to meet him when we were up in Boston, and he's really cool, and I look forward to the next time I'm able to hang out with him, because that was actually really fun when we were all able to go up to Boston. That being said, this week I hate him because we're playing him and I have to win. So I'm not going to do a team breakdown. I don't actually like doing team builders, mostly because, in the league I don't particularly like to show off my sets and kind of show my opponent exactly what I have to bring. I don't mind showing the most ideas, but not, fully exploiting all of my sets. That's just me, though. But I'll go over a short breakdown of my team. This week I brought a Scarf Sylveon with Hyper Voice and Shadow Ball, and then I brought a Uxie. This is fully defensive Uxie, Psychic, T-Wave, and then 2 special fun time moves. Actually no, this is a timid Roserade with a lot of speed, a lot of special attack, and a little bit of HP investment. Dual Stab, Sleep Powder, and Spikes. And then Gastrodon, this is Spadef Gastrodon, very standardish set. Salamence, this is a D-Dance set, EQ, Stab, and Iron Tail. And a Calm Mind Raikou. So looking at his team, it's funny. The middle 4, Garchomp, Clefable, Lopunny, and Jirachi, I predicted those pretty much down to a T, like he had to bring those. And the outside 2, it was either... Now his roster is, I believe he has Zoroark, Virizion, and a few other things. But what it came down to was either he was going to bring Greninja and Emboar, or Virizion and Zoroark. The thing is, he needed Greninja for speed control and Emboar for power, whereas if he brought Virizion, it would help with the Gastrodon, but he would have needed the Zoroark for the knockoffs. Not much of my team really wants to take a knockoff, and then he would have had to use that for his speed control, but 105 is not really that fast. So yeah, his team is very well constructed. Pretty much what I thought in this league. Torrent Greninja is okay. The thing I was fearing most, obviously, is this fucking Mega Lopunny, because it's a huge threat in any league for that matter. So we're gonna jump right into second. I believe now I do have a front office for this league, and I will bring that for the future for whatever league I might be in. But I talk with them and I kind of develop my own team. I constructed most of this team. It just it's easier to team build when you have someone to talk to and spitball ideas back and forth. So I was pretty confident going into this week. All my sets were very well constructed. They were smart. They were, and I was figuring, hey, listen, if nothing else, this match I can shake off the rust and see where I'm at. I haven't competed in a league. I haven't really played Pokemon in 12 months. So I wasn't really in the... I was confident to the point that I could compete. I just wanted to see how much I've lost and where I need to develop. So we'll see in this match. I'm really confident. Let's hop right in. So leading off, I lit off with Roserade. He leads off with his Greninja. Now, when he starts this, I will pause a lot. I'm sorry. When he led off, I thought, it's obviously going to be faster. I could take an Ice Beam because this thing is it's a Roserade. It's bulky. And it gave me an idea of exactly what he is if I see the Life Orb. But he starts off and he goes for U-turn, which pretty much shows me I think he's choice. I didn't see any recoil. And right here I decided to go for Sleep Powder. And since it's Showdown, what you're going to come to realize about me and battling is on Wi-Fi, I have fun. On Showdown, I get fucked in the ass like a white prisoner. It doesn't work out for me. It works against me, as a matter of fact. And I hope that's not the only thing that doesn't work out my way. But Sleep Powder miss kind of hurt because the Jirachi would have been asleep. 1 guaranteed turn asleep, which means 1 set of spikes. That matters because his entire team is grounded. The only thing that wouldn't really take damage would be the Clefable. But otherwise, besides that, everything coming in would take a good, percent, 12% I think, or something like that. Or whatever. Someone will correct me. But the point is, the spikes would have been important, and having Jirachi asleep would have been it would have been nice, honestly. But I believe I switch out here into the Gastrodon, and yeah, Squeezy. Some of you know where that's from. He goes for Ice Punch. You know, it's a Jirachi. The freeze is going to happen like it does right here. And I have Sklad, so it doesn't really matter. And I try and get the burn. I figure a Burn Rachi. The crit, I guess, was okay, but I figure a Burn Rachi maybe would have been nice. Keep going for Scalds here, or I go for Recover. A good play of mine. So, this, I'm going to talk not really about this, because this Clefable Gastrodon matchup is kind of tedious, and this is going to happen once or twice in this match. The Clefable can't really do much. I believe his set was Moonblast, Thunder Wave, Soft Boiled, and Fire Blast, which I'll come to see in a little while. But, you know, I'm going to go for Scald, I'm going to go for Clear Smog, I'm going to go for Recover. He's going to switch out on my predicted Recover. He's going to go into Emboar. And right here, I pretty much wanted to scout, because the thing with Emboar, and he does switch out and make a good double, predicted me to go into Salamence. Now, I went to Salamence, I realized it's a sweeper, but the thing is about Emboar is that he, like 4 moves I thought were pretty prevalent in my mind. If it's Reckless, gotta have Flare Blitz. Superpower seemed very likely. Then I thought maybe a Grass move, Grass Knot was in my mind, and then Sucker Punch is his last move, or Stone Edge to hit something like Salamence. Now, even so, I think the double was really good on his end, but I thought primarily, hey, listen, going to Salamence, the Grass Knot seemed pretty obvious, or, you know, the Grass move, maybe he goes for the Flare Blitz, takes some damage, see what he is. If he takes recoil damage and Life Orb, then he's Life Orb. If he doesn't just takes recoil damage, then I realized that maybe he's choiced. So, just to scouting purposes. But he makes this nice double switch into Clefable, and, yeah, so I got to switch out. Go back into Gastrodon. Or I go to Roserade. So, sorry about that, I'm a little ahead of myself. This right here was multi-purposed. So I did this because I thought if he goes for Moonblast, I don't take that much damage. If he goes for some kind of status move, then I can Natural Cure it off. And then, I have next turn, I can switch out, go into Gastrodon like I said before, and I can bait out, see if he has a fire move, which pretty much confirmed right here. Goes for Fire Blast, it hits, does a good amount of damage, a crit, doesn't matter. But I got to see, now I see his full Clefable moveset. Now, like I said, this is going to be an exchange that takes a long time. So, we're just going to talk. So this Gastrodon was specifically made for a set of Clefable. I thought he was going to be a Calm Mind set with Moonblast, maybe, you know, the coverage move being Flamethrower, and Soft Boiled. A little bit off, he has Thunder Wave over Calm Mind, and but the rest I was pretty much spot on. Now, the thing is, this Gastrodon is he really can KO me. Like, it's going to be, you know, I have the capability of recovering and then, you know, doing minimal damage to him, but I know his full moveset at this point, so I know he can set up on me, and if I did let him set up on me, I have Clear Smog, so it does negligible damage, but Clear Zealot is stat boost, so the whole Calm Mind Clefable setup thing isn't really something to be afraid of, because I think I planned relatively well for it. Anyway, point is, he's going to go for Fire Blast a lot here, because I think he was getting rather aggressive. He was thinking, okay, he has to switch out into Roserade, and that's what, you know, he's going to go for Fire Blast about like 3 or 4 turns at this point. He does that because I think he adamantly believed that I was going to switch into Roserade, but that's not really what I wanted to do. I wasn't going to let Roserade die on a Fire Blast, take big damage, force me to, you know, go for Sludge Bomb. I can't kill him at this range because he has leftovers, and I can't put him to sleep, but it's like I wanted to, but I wish I could. So I'm just going to keep going with Clear Smog. I'm not going to ruin all of my Scalds, my Recovers. I'm just going to stay in and keep it safe, because nothing really needs to switch in, take unnecessary damage, and Gastrodon's doing a very good job at taking these hits. So, we're going to get close to a turn. I believe this goes to about turn 24 of this horse shit. See, at this point I was thinking, yeah, this Gastrodon could take on this Clefable relatively well, and as long as I get off some good damage, I can take it on them with something else. Raikou can set up on this with 1 Calm Mind up. The Roserade is timid, and I think it has max special attack, so it could pretty much knock it out at this range, assuming it hasn't soft boiled up. But, you know, that obviously was not the case, and not something I was worried about right this very second, as it's just Squeezy. Good old Squeezy against his Clefable. Yeah, I kind of forgot how long this exchange was. It's very boring. I don't want to switch anything out because I don't want anything to take any unnecessary damage from Moonblast like I said. So now we can actually move on with the battle so it's not as fucking boring. He predicts my recover, goes into his Mega Lopunny. Makes it another great play. I go into Uxie because it's pretty much my only defensive wall to take on as big of a threat as Mega Lopunny is. He goes for Don Pass, great play, gets out of there, goes into Emboar. Now I go back into Gastrodon, and I figure Flare Blitz is very, very obvious here. He has to. He's gonna. If it's a reckless, duh, and he's gonna get big damage off. But before we go into this next turn, you noticed I didn't have any leftovers on this Gastrodon, and I didn't see any Life Orb damage on his Emboar. So this is actually a Rindo Berry special defensive Gastrodon, and I figure the Grass move is gonna come, and I thought I can go for a recover and just see what he is. If he switches up moves, he's not choiced, he's not Life Orbed, and we'll see what happens. So he goes for the Solar Beam, has the Power Herb, Rindo Berry activates, I live, go for recover. And you'll see in the chat right about here, he says, you know, I said battling memes with memes because that's pretty much what this league is. He's, you know, it was a good play for both of us. He does knock me out with the superpower. That's okay. I think Gastrodon did a pretty good job. I got a lot of information about his team, and at this point I was deciding I could go for Earthquake, but I could also set up and go for Dragon Dance. I pretty much had a free Dragon Dance because he was the -1 attack. I could live a Stone Edge, and I go for Iron Miss. That's 2. Now, Showdown. For anyone who argues with me, or anyone for that matter, that Showdown doesn't have more hacks involved, like there's not some kind of coding that makes it so that you miss more often or that you get fucked more often, you're wrong, and you're wrong, because Showdown does in fact screw you. I hate Showdown because of the fact that more shit happens during a league match on Showdown than as if I'm playing on Wi-Fi. I don't miss as much. You don't get screwed by some game-changing hack. So like I said earlier, the sleep powder would have been a huge help, and now this shit, you know, I think hitting that Iron Tail, I would have been able to go for Iron Tail and go for Earthquake. As you're going to see here, he's going to switch into his Garchomp in 1 second, but the Iron Tail miss essentially means that this Salamence is now dead, because even if I did knock out his Clefable right now, or it goes into Garchomp, I take the Rough Skin damage, and then he goes into Mega Lopunny and knocks me out with a Fake Out. So that pissed me off, and it's pretty much just what I come to expect in terms of, you know, how kind of horseshit garbage Showdown is. But now I'm just going to go for Dragon Claw, and I believe I level 1%, but I knock out his Garchomp, which, yeah, I was okay with that. I did have HP Ice on my Raikou, and I think I have a Scarf Sylveon, so I could pretty much knock out the Garchomp with the Hyper Voice, but it's nice to have that out of the way. Go back to Mega Lopunny. He goes for a Fake Out, because why not? It was very obvious he was going to do so, and I believe right here I go for Thunder Wave. I thought maybe he'd stay in, go for Return, see what kind of damage he'd get in, but doesn't matter. I could go for Psychic here. It's a Clefable. It's not going to take that much anyways. We'll see later on in the match. I let him knock out Salamence here so I can get a free switch into my Raikou. Now Raikou, I thought, okay, get up a Calm Mind. I can. He's not offensive, and he's certainly not a setup Clefable, so I thought, okay, we go for Calm Mind, get one up, and then we see. He thought I was going to attack here, maybe go for Volt Switch, but get behind the sub, and I could see how much investment he has special attack-wise to see if he can break a sub. He can't. So that means I get up another Calm Mind, and, you know, once he breaks my sub, like you will here with the Scarf Jirachi, I can then go ahead and go for a Thunderbolt. Well, first, go for the sub on his switch. Or he's going to Body Slam, break my sub. Let's get up behind another sub. He's going to break it again with another Body Slam, because obviously this is like max attack. And I'm going to go for T-Bolt, and I pretty much clean knock it out. That does cause a problem, because I didn't get Mega Lopunny, and I couldn't obviously go for, you know, substitute on substitute. Body Slam's not going to miss, and I pretty much just need to clean off that Jirachi rather soon. He's going to go for Fake Out here, and I'm going to go back into Uxie as I've been doing. Uxie's been doing a really good job at taking these hits. I believe now he's going to go for, well, I think I just right here just go for Psychic. It was free damage, and as we can see, it's the 24% crit. Right, it's not a lot. Maybe 18%, 17% without that crit. Point is, I'm going to go to Rose right here, and he makes a nice double switch into his Greninja. And I figured the Ice Beam was probable, but U-turn also was much more safe for him. Going to go for Giga Drain, get back some HP with this Clefable, and worst case scenario, I take away some of his HP, I'm not Life Orb, get back that Black Sludge, and I can knock him out with the Sludge Bomb, which is pretty much exactly what happens. You know, this thing had enough special attack investment, and it's a Roserade that I can knock out Clefable, which I do, and now this allows him to go into his Mega Lopunny. Like, Mega Lopunny from is such a free switch. You know, I think Mega Lopunny is probably a little bit too overpowered in the GBA format. I say that because it's GBA started all this, but knocks me out with 2 returns, and then I go to Sylveon, and hold on. This is a Scarfed Sylveon. I think the nice thing that I did with my planning is that he does not have very many Fairy switch-ins, just as I don't have very many Dark switch-ins. So I figured, okay, go for Hyper Voice, and I'll just knock him out clean. Like, I'm not that concerned with whatever comes in. You know, if he obviously, we saw he's not Choice Scarf Emboar. The Greninja's Scarf, but I have a switch-in for that. And then Mega Lopunny can go for Fake Out, but actually I can't say it on that, but we'll get to that in a second. Emboar comes in, I'm going to go for the Hyper Voice. I am Scarfed, so I do outpace him. I think maybe he thought I wasn't Scarfed, or I don't think he knew anything at this point. But I go for Hyper Voice, and I do a big chunk of damage on the switch-in, and then I just go for it again. Like, I'm Scarfed, I outpace him. He Sucker Punch mine just did negligible damage. So then he goes to Greninja, and I smell the Gunk Shot from a mile away. Goes for it. Now, right here, he's going to miss the Gunk Shot. That was shitty. Doesn't quite weigh in the amount of shit that I've missed that I think made more difference. So, goes a Gunk Shot. I would have lived the second one very, very little amount. I think Giga Drain would put me back up at about half, and then a little bit over with this Black Sludge. So he goes into Mega Lopunny, and I pretty much sack off my Raikou here. It's at, what is it, 75% HP. I can't really live a return. He has no reason not to go for a return. If he didn't go for Fake Out there, he can't use it for the rest of the time that Mega Lopunny's in. So I go into Sylveon here. Now I am Scarfed. He can't Fake Out and return combination. And I can just go for a Hyper Voice and win. So he's going to go for a return here, and as long as he doesn't crit, the epitome, folks, of why I fucking hate Showdown. What needs to happen against me does happen, and I'm sure this is not going to be the only time that I get screwed during the season. But what a good way to start off week 1, right? What a good way to lose on a fucking second to last turn crit. Now, during the match, I was okay. I mean, I kind of kept my composure. I try not to be that guy that like lashes out in anger when some horseshit like that happens. And you know, I don't think I played poorly. I think that entire match I was pretty much in control. I had a plan, and my sets were pretty on point to handle what I predicted Crimson to bring. You know, the Mega Lopunny is a threat, but I had means of taking it out, and I had means of checking it in a way. But, of course, the crit happens right when it needs to happen, and he knocks me out right when he needs to win the game. Now, granted, it's only a 1-0 loss, and it's the first week of the season. I do play Crimson again later on this season. But not for nothing, it pisses me off that had to happen. Yeah. The Sylveon would have been able to live that return, probably about 24%, and knock it out with a Hyper Voice. And I would have won. I would have won 2-0 as compared to losing 1-0. And Mega Lopunny would have had 2 kills as now to its 4 kills, and Sylveon would have had 2 kills. So that's how week 1 went. If you guys want to point out anything that I did wrong, go for it. But I don't think that I really played that poorly. It was just shitty circumstances against me. The missed Iron Tail, the missed Sleep Powder, and then the crit fucking return. Second to last, turn 56. So next week, I'm going to start planning now for next week. I already have at this point when this video goes up. But hopefully this season is not as stupid bullshit as this match was. Good job to Crimson. You know, he brought a great team. And Mega Lopunny is nothing to be fucked with. I think it's gonna ruin a lot of dreams, I think, this season, because Mega Lopunny really is that big of a threat. I'd like to push for it to not be in the league format from now on, because it is checked very limitedly. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed. Leave comments. I'm a little deflated after rewatching this, but hope you all enjoyed. Leave comments. Talk to me. I'll talk back. Hopefully, we can bring it back next week. And as I said in the power rankings a few weeks ago, I don't become the San Jose Dumpster Fires. Next week we take on GB Miracle, aka Mike. His team is very Intimidate heavy, and I got to plan really well to kind of counteract that. I have ideas, but hopefully those don't crumble as much as these did. But yeah, not giving up. This is bullshit, but you're not gonna see me quit. So until then, talk to you guys soon. Bye.